Good morning and welcome to Bite-Sized Book Reviews. I've just finished reading Codex, a novel by Lev Grossman. The main character is a sort of like a rising star in the banking world, like he's a banker called Edward, and he gets a really peculiar assignment, like he's about to leave to go to England very shortly for like a new job, and he's technically really high ranking now, but he gets assigned to help a really wealthy client catalog their library. Like he thinks there must be some kind of mistake because it's the kind of job you typically give to an intern, but he decides to give it a little bit of a try anyway before he passes it on to someone else. And as part of this, he gets a request to locate a particular book that is supposed to be somewhere in this collection. So in the process of trying to find this codex, he starts to develop like an interest in finding this book for his own reasons. So he doesn't end up passing the job. Like he gets caught up in this mystery, like trying to figure out what the book is really about, why it interests so many people, and also just where it is hidden, since there aren't really a lot of solid records. Like he meets this medievalist scholar who he enlists to help him, and she basically tells him about how there's always been rumors that this book once might have existed, but that for the most part historians have now dismissed this as a myth, but she ends up helping him with his search. This exploration, I suppose, is mixed with a narrative of a new video game that Edward begins to play. Like his friend gives him this new game, and even though he's never really played video games before, he finds himself also drawn into the world of this game, which is surprisingly realistic, and at the same time, it seems to have some weird parallels with the things that are now happening in his own life. I'm not really sure why the summary of this book I read said it was a thriller, since that's probably one of the last categories I would have put it in. Like, I think it was kind of interesting in, you want to know more about the mystery way, and I liked the bits that sort of like told you pieces of the stories from these books and some of the history around like the stories that people told, and like the guy who was like who's supposed to have written it, and like their exploration of like what the story was really about and things like that. I think it just had a kind of like interest for me, but it was a kind of it was not the kind of story that had a lot of ups and downs. Like I think it was more heavy on introspection and thoughts and a little bit more light on actual actions, and like there wasn't really what I would consider like really strong interactions between the characters. Like something I did not like as much was that I didn't necessarily understand like the motivations for Edward particularly well. Like I feel like the story wants to draw some type of parallel between like this idea that he maybe isn't entirely happy with being a banker. Like he might have really fallen into this job more because he wanted something stable and less because it was something he was passionate about, and maybe trying to find something he's passionate about through the search for this book. Like I feel like it maybe wants to go there, but at the same time, I just don't see it. Like, I'm not sure why he became so invested. Like, I don't know why he cared so much about finding this book, and I don't know why he thought it would change his life as much as he did. Like, a lot of his expectations in regards to what would happen at the end of his journey don't really seem very realistic for someone who, at the same time, appears to supposedly be so practical.